You know, I don't want to be obnoxious or brag, but I think that we probably have one of the best high school productions around.
There were so many outstanding moments in Beauty and the Beast. I mean, I could start at the beginning and name each scene. The students went far beyond what I ever expected it to be. I cannot name one particular thing because it was all, to me, so fantastic. Each group surprises me more and more. And really, y'all, especially my principal characters, you do not know how much you have grown from the time we started to now in seeing your characters and everything, and that is fantastic. The whole show is going to be just wonderful. Thank you.
Probably Sylvia Nanney is probably, even though she is acknowledged as the director and everybody knows that she's the director, every year I'm just amazed at the things that she does to prepare for this that I never even thought about. I mean, there's just a lot of things that go on that no one ever thinks about, because when we sit down and watch the play, it's just beautiful and it seems to flow so effortlessly. There's so much stuff that I think that is going through her head all the time that no one knows, and certainly they don't appreciate it. We're just all, you know, sitting back there going, wow, that was pretty, that was cool.
My favorite experience? Just Miss Sylvia, just in general. She's great. She's hysterical. I love that lady.
I'm Sylvia Nanney, and I'm one of the directors of the musicals here at New Albany High School. I started musical theater when I was in high school at Tupelo. One of the first musicals I ever did was South Pacific. And then through the many years, I have either been in or directed over 40 musicals. I guess half of those I was performed in, and for the past 20 years I have directed the musicals here at New Albany High School.
My name is Mary Beth Muncie, and I am Phil and Sylvia's daughter, and I am the assistant director for the musical, and I oversee costuming and dance, a lot of the backstage work. I grew up in Tupelo in TCT, watching my parents on stage, and it's just always been a part of who we are and what we do. And I've been a part of all of the musicals here at the high school in one way or another. Previously, I just worked, you know, as staff and came in at night with rehearsals and things before I became a teacher.
Each year, before the musical is over with, everyone's asking, well, what are we going to do next year? And it's a very hard process in the fact that you have to look at the material, you have to find something that's going to be suitable for high school. You also have to think about the people you are performing for and your audience, because you need to find something that they're going to enjoy and that they want to come to see. And also something that would be challenging for your students, but also entertaining for them. You can narrow it down, but usually it's kind of in the last month before auditions that you finally make a decision on what you think would be best for that year.
Okay, I will talk you through it and I will walk through it in my place, but you must do your best. You must smile. If you want one of those top dance spots and you walk in there like this and say, I can't sing, you're not going to do it. You've got to sell it down there like you sell it up here, okay? Ready, Laura May? You can do this. I have to go first? Yes. We'll go 44, 45, 46. I'm sorry. I'll start with you. 1, 2, 8. Be our guest, darling, make your which you can sing, thank you. Ready, Livy? 1, 2, and go. Be our guest, darling, and you can sing too, thank you. All right, ready? Chloe, 2. Every year we start with auditions, and so that's a process within itself because we always use judges from outside of the area. We have to get the materials together, the songs, the speaking parts. We have to come up with choreography for the dance because we have a dance audition and a singing audition in the choir room, and then if they're trying out for a main part, they will audition in here as well. So everyone has to go through the dance and the singing audition. And then if you want a main character role, you come in here, or we may say, like last year, Taylor Willis came in through the dance audition and she was not trying out for a major role. And the judges down there heard her and they said, are you trying out for anything else? And she said, oh no, I'm too scared. And they said, no ma'am, you get down there. And she tried out for Chip and she ended up getting that part. But it was because those judges knew in there, they knew what to be looking for in here also.
The acting part's a little tricky because you go from singing and then you're with one or two other people, possibly even three. You have to know your part, but you also kind of have to fill in with them too. Like, it's not just you doing you. You have to flow in with it. You know, you have to kind of all come together and make one scene. You're not looking for individual stuff at that point. It's how well you can blend.
A cast fits together like a puzzle. If one part doesn't fit, you've got to keep putting it together till it fits and you've got the correct picture. That's like an artist when they're painting or anything. It has to balance, it has to fit, and all the characters have to become the ensemble cast. It may depend on the height of somebody. You would not want a male lead to be shorter than your female lead. And so it's a lot of times it's in pairing people, it's in you know, how they look on stage together, how they react to each other. So it's not just in the single performance, but it's in the relationship of everybody together.
They must have chemistry as an ensemble,
right?
Is what they must have.
I decided to try out from Miss Muncie telling me to try out. My 9th grade year, I knew I wanted to be in the musical, but I didn't know what to try out for, what to do. So she was like, try out for this and that and do this and sing this song. So she basically put 5 different parts in my hand.
I literally went through the sheet and selected all the guy roles and just tried out for everyone just to see which one I would get.
I auditioned for every single girl part, and there was like so many songs, and I was so tired by the end of it. And then like I almost didn't make it to the part where I had to go dance over there in the audition room.
Actually, I just tried out for just like a dancing part. Like, I was not expecting to get any big role, but then they heard me sing and they said I had a good deep voice. So they wanted me to try out for Gaston and the Prince. They wanted me to try out for the Beast, but I couldn't hit high notes and he has to hit a few high notes.
I love the audition process, and I know most people don't say that, but I think it's fun and like I get my energy going really good.
But the audition process is hectic, but it's also really fun because you're with all your friends and they help you like not be stressed out during the audition.
Part of me said, I think I'm gonna make it, and then another part of me said, I don't know.
If someone says that you could either be this or this, like seriously, you could be either one, and you find out that you're one of those two, it's like, oh, I didn't get that, but I did get this. It's shocking to do that. For me, to do it for 2 years and then suddenly get a principal character, it's a different feeling for sure.
I was actually very excited because Madison Jordan came up to me and she was like, I'm a little teapot. And I was like, oh, are you for real? And she was like, yep, you're a teapot. I was like, okay.
Seeing your name on that list is just, it's a real excitement, and so that was completely overwhelming.
When I first started, I was really excited, and then I thought, crap, I'm gonna have to do this in front of everybody. So I was terrified.
Little town, it's a quiet village, every day like the one before. Little town full of little people, waking up to
Learning your lines is really not that hard because you run over that scene or your act so many times. You just...
Little town, it's a quiet village. Every day.
memorize them just like that, and it's not hard at all.
I think Miss Nanney made it very easy because she was like, okay, do it again. Okay, do it again. Stop. Say it like this. Okay, do it again. And so like by the end of it, I had it memorized. I was like, okay, I got this.
Especially if you're really into musical season, that's all you listen to for the next 2 months, and it's not that hard. But the songs this year were so wordy. Like every single word was different. There wasn't a certain chorus or a certain verse. Every single thing was different. But lines isn't that bad. Lines by themselves, because if you run it over and 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 over, you'll learn it. Like you'll. I didn't realize that I had learned my lines, so I put the book down and like he said something to me. I was like, oh, oh, I knew that.
My lip syncing, the lip syncing was the hardest part because, but me and Sam, we're good friends. The Beast, we worked with each other to make sure our mouths would move at the same time as a certain song. At first I just worried about remembering my lines and didn't worry about the song, and that really messed me up. So then I worried all about my song after I got my lines memorized. So, but after the song part, it was all easy.
They've got to be committed to the role. They've got to be committed to learning their part, to develop a character. It's more than just getting up there and saying some lines. They have to practice, they have to work at it. And that's like anything you do. If you're in sports, cheerleading, whatever you're doing, you have to have discipline. And if you don't have that discipline to do what you need to do, you cannot do it to the best of your ability.
So this year, my part was definitely like all about acting. I had to change my whole persona, you know. I'm not really a big guy, so I had to act like a big guy, change my voice, change how I stood. So I wouldn't say it comes naturally, because I definitely had a lot of learning to do this year. They had to critique me for the longest time. They were kind of scared I wasn't even gonna get it completely. So no, I wouldn't say it comes naturally.
My first character was like a high-pitched voice, like toy, so that was easy. Then next year I was a Jamaican, that was easy, but a Frenchman, however, was quite an experience. So they would constantly tell me, "You're not saying that right," or
"You're trying to be Sebastian, but you're a candlestick."
You're a candlestick now.
I saw Sebastian a lot in Aishman's character. And then boom, you put that costume on him, and it was like everything flipped. But you could say that for Cogsworth, you could say that for everyone.
The day costumes come in, everyone like energy goes from 0 to 100. Like we all realize that, oh, we're about to be on stage.
This has not all been done in vain.
Yeah, this was not all done for nothing.
Every person on stage had a fantastic costume, even if all they were just like, you know, the sausage salesman. You know, that person had a beautiful costume.
Mine was so pretty, and like it was so pretty and elaborate, but at the same time it was so heavy. Like the hips, and y'all know the hips, like the hips plus the wardrobe, and then even when I was human, like that feather, like from up close it looks like it's about this big, but then you look at it from afar, it looks like it's humongous.
I could not walk through any doorways. I had to tilt my freaking little costume to the side because it was a big old hula hoop, and so I had to go meep. It was like a struggle every single time. And then when we had to change for the second costume, thank goodness for all the like stage crew, all the girls that were there to help us, because they were like, here, and I was like, take this off, put this on, run back on the stage. So that was great.
My costumes this year were definitely like the best, you know. It was kind of thick, you know, so I wouldn't get really hurt for falling on the ground and stuff, getting tossed around. So that would help, but it wasn't thick enough to where it made me real hot.
They were really expensive, really nice suits. Sweating more than a pig in mid-July. These costumes are hot. Very hot having 2 suits on at once. So.
Best costumes we've ever had.
As soon as Miss Nanney makes it official, whatever she's going to produce that year, I start researching. I go to YouTube and I watch videos of like Broadway productions, and then I look at high school productions, and I Google images and just try to start getting a feel for what that musical is all about, and try to start getting some sort of vision about what we want it to look like. And then I also work with Miss Nanney. She and Mr. Nanney pretty much designed the set, whatever's going to be the piece that never moves. Mr. Rick Robbins and his class, they build the set usually in the months around December, and when we get back from school, we typically have about 3 weeks to get the set ready. Anything that you see on stage that you think that must have taken an artist to do, those are my students who are doing that.
Alright, you probably thought these were real desserts, but actually we used like this styrofoam piece and like painted it brown to make it look like chocolate, and we used hot glue on like all this stuff to make it, and we used hot glue to make and construction paper, so yeah, and then you get you a nice little dessert. And also we use like cardboard on these and like put paint over it, make it look like a dessert. And we did basically the same thing on these as we did with these.
This is the bread that we made for the play, and all we did was just spray this insulating foam, and then after it was dry we spray painted it brown, and as you can see it looks like real bread basically. And that was the bread. And then we did more stuff with the fruit, and this is just like paper mache really, and then just sparkles.
This is my glitter ball. Did this all by my lonesome self. It sort of blends into the background because there's like a galaxy background over here, backdrop, whatever. And it's supposed to look like an open window with the curtains and all, and it sort of just shimmers throughout the crowd, catches the eye.
We used these pool noodles for this right here because apparently people were tripping on the steps, so we needed something to stop that. So we got these pool noodles from Miss Crane's room, and we cut them in half, spray painted them gold, and stuck them on with spray adhesive and gaffer's tape.
We took this little heater thing, and it gets up to like 500 degrees, I'm thinking, and it like burns into the foam. Right here you can see it's like crystallized. So what we do is we sketch out a design we want, and then we burn around the edges of it. There's so many different paint layers we use. We painted it like blue, then we painted it gold on top, then we glued it on where we needed it to be, and we had like at least 50 of these different things. So it was a lot of burning and a lot of awful smells.
So this whole floor was designed by drawing a stencil, and then we cut it out. And then we started tracing with the stencil each and every one of these little symbols right here. And then we just started to color them painted gold, which was a lot of work.
I know what my favorite set piece was this year. The stained glass windows.
In the movie Beauty and the Beast, the story starts with telling it with stained glass, and in art, Ms. Thompson and Madison Rainwater had the idea of doing stained glass somewhere, and she asked me to design something to represent Beauty and the Beast. And at first she started with just drawing it with an Expo marker and then going over it with tape, and she had other students paint with Mod Podge and acrylic paint.
My original idea was to put stained glass windows all over the walls, but that would be really expensive and time consuming. But they had this idea to get sheets of plexiglass and put them in the castle originally. So we projected the image onto these plexiglass sheets, and then we traced that with Sharpie. Once we got finished with that, we just traced the Sharpie with puff paint, and then we painted it with this special like fake stained glass window paint. And they framed them, and they decided that they couldn't go in the castle, there was no room for them. So they decided to put this one here and the Beast one on the other side stage.
My students pretty much coordinate and carry out all of the special effects makeup in the musical. This year we didn't have as much, but everything from creating, you know, beards or a hairy chest or prosthetic pieces.
Took forever, but you know, we have some great artists. Shout out to Megan Madison.
The stage crew, Mr. Muncie and all of the students that work for him, you know, they get yelled at a lot in practice because it takes them about 3 weeks to figure out how to move all those set pieces to the right places in the dark, silently. By the time the production happens, it's pretty much a flawless, or it appears to be flawless from the seats, from the audience. I know in the back, there's no telling what is happening and who has dropped what and what's broken and what's lost, but they somehow or another, when the curtains open, you know, it's just kind of amazing that all that has happened behind the curtain in the dark in 20 seconds, you know.
It's a very high stress environment, but it's because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. Because I don't know if you can, any of y'all can see it last year, we got a little bit to live up to. And so we try to be as good and better every year, right? And so we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be really good. So, all right, so y'all go chill out there. I'm gonna go get those sheets and work on getting that stuff up.
So we're organizing?
Yeah, I'll come get y'all to organize all this stuff here in a little bit. So y'all just hang out up there, and if you get on the stage crew, y'all.
The number one thing is for students to find time to do everything they want to do. Mm-hmm. You know, and we try to work around that, but sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. That's with sports and other activities is what I'm talking about. You have to be here.
Especially when it's 80 to 90 students that you're trying to schedule. And you see that a lot in the dance groups, because if you're trying to teach a dance that has 15 to 20 people in it, and 6 are gone this time, and 2 are gone this time, and 3 this time, you never get that complete picture.
What would I do different?
I would plan my time better. Like, I would time things out better. Knowing I had practice on blank and blank time, blank and blank day, I would time out homework better, time out naps better. Like, I would get gas before I went to practice so I can run out. Yeah, I would just time stuff better. But other than that, no, the practices, it's all the hard practices is worth it in the end, so I wouldn't change it.
Favorite experience was definitely the fight scene. I mean, I did get hurt. I did cut my arm halfway open. That did not really feel too good.
Before the fight scene, there's the song "The Kill the Beast" thing. That was all cool. Nobody liked me, so I would just sit there and just try to hype myself up. And then I'd have to say a line and lay down on the ground and just wait for David. And I knew, like, my goal was to break something every night, but then I was scared I'd actually break something. So, but it was really fun, and I enjoyed it, and I liked pushing David around. It was great, great fun.
My favorite experience, I take that back, is when Allie fell down on Saturday. When Allie fell? I was not compassionate, and I was not a good person. I am sorry. I wanted to laugh, but then I saw the people in the crowd. I was like, she's probably embarrassed. I should have laughed. That's me. But that was the funniest. She wasn't even embarrassed.
She was like, I just fell, but I got up.
Yes, that was the funniest moment of the whole entire play.
Uncomfortable part when I fell down the stairs. That was the worst thing ever, but it was funny at the same time.
Second funniest is going to be probably when David cut himself during the fight scene.
One of the most outstanding moments for me was the Saturday night performance when Be Our Guest was over. And those people clapped. And they kept clapping, and they kept clapping, and they kept clapping, and that's because that dance, and it's not even a dance really, that whole number is so long and so hard, and it was the hardest thing to put together in the whole show. And when you finally saw them succeed, whew, that was a big moment. They did it. They just nailed their dance on stage. was awesome getting to stand in the curtains and see that moment at the end of Act 1. When Sam was singing that song, I could cry right now thinking about it. And you see him hit that moment, and you see his hand start shaking. And that's when you know they get it.
Yeah.
But it was just watching those special moments when everybody truly forgot who they were.
And became their characters.
And became their characters.
I'm going to say, every year we have students who have waited till their senior year to come audition. And every year those people say, why did I not do this before now? Because they all love it, they all enjoy it.
And these are not just musically inclined people.
No.
These are football players.
Yeah.
These are people you would not think would get on the stage. And when they do, half the time they end up stealing the show. And then they regret. They regret those 3 years that they didn't get to experience.
Right. But that's like Stacy Hernandez came in this year. Stacy, a senior. No one knew she could sing, but she got up there and blew her auditions away. The most beautiful voice.
I sing in the shower. I sing in my car. I sing to my little brothers. I sing at church.
She should have been up here those other 3 years. But that's what I'm saying. Students don't realize what they could be experiencing and what they're missing by not coming to try out.
And some say, I'm too nervous, I'm too scared, I don't want to audition in front of a judge. And I would say, come talk to me about that, because it is not near as scary as you would think it would be. And if you don't want to dance and you just want to sing, you can try out just on singing to be in the chorus. You know, there's lots of different ways to fit in different people. And I would just say, be brave, step out of your comfort zone, and try it one time, and I promise you'll love it.
I didn't realize how much fun it would be or how much time you'd actually get to spend with your friends. And I guess you kind of take it for granted until like your senior year. And like, I don't know, I never really thought about it, but soon enough, like as a senior, you're gonna leave everyone and like all these friends you'd make. And being in the musical, you meet so many different new people. Like I didn't know a bunch of of the sophomores or some of the freshmen. And so like seeing them being a part of the musical was actually really cool because they put so much work and so much time and effort into what they did. And the musical went great, so that's cool.
Doing the play was something that I never thought that I would do, besides staying backstage and helping out in the back. So actually going out there and getting out of my comfort zone, and the people that pushed me to do that, I have to thank them because it not only helped me in the musical, but it kind of helped me with my personal self and being more confident in what I do.
Try out for the play. Everybody, try out for the play. It's good stuff. You'll enjoy yourself, and it makes you do things that you don't normally do. That's why it's getting out of your normal self and then getting into character. It's really fun.
I mean, I got a couple of my buddies to do it, and I know they had a lot of fun with it. They don't even like singing or dancing, but they had a good time with each other doing it. And so, if you can do it, I would encourage you to get some of your friends to do it with you. That way, even if you don't get the role you want, you'll have them by you, and you'll just have a ball the whole time. So, if you do enjoy singing or dancing, this is definitely for you. I mean, it's got all the above, and the practices are hard, but I can tell you it's definitely worth it at the very end.
The stress is almost the part that's the best about it. I don't know what it is, but like them stressing you so much, that's what makes it great. And like it's just everybody loves the play, and I just think that everybody should do it. But I mean, it's not for everybody. But if you think you might want to do it just a little bit, go ahead and try out for it.
There's so many adults that come together that are employees of our school district that work really hard and put in a lot of extra hours to make it all happen. I think that's probably my favorite part of it, is that it's really fun to be a part of a team that loves doing this and cares enough to put in that kind of extra time. to make it all happen.
They push you to do your best because they know what you're capable of, and if they're not seeing it, they'll get on to you for it. But it should just make you want to work harder, and that's what helped me this year. It made me want to work harder and improve in everything I did.
I mean, I guess if you didn't love it, you just wouldn't show up and do it. You'd say, no, I've got other things to do. You know, I love that all of these people enjoy it so much. And it's hard not to enjoy it because the end result is fantastic. And it's really awesome to, like, when you sit down finally and see the whole thing put together and know that all of these kids are getting to be a part of something that's that amazing. It's really very rewarding to be a part of it.
You need to do it.
Yes.
It's not because of the part you get, it's the experience. Sylv and Phil and Marybeth and Flip and
Or just
Jim
something to
are an
enjoy.
experience. It's like a reality TV show and you are in it.
Yes, it's
like,
so fun.
You, seriously, do the musical.
And if you do it with excellence. Perform it to the best of your ability.